guess we're gonna tell the story on how little mama came to be here. You wanna start off?
Yeah, today's Monday, the 30th. So she's 2 days and some hours old. She was born on Saturday, the 28th September. Saturday morning, early morning. Well, I went to sleep Friday night. Everything normal, no problems. I had a doctor's appointment on Friday, actually, and I had an NST test done that day. And everything was fine. It was normal. She had enough movements and all of that. She was just so precious. She got a good set of lungs on her, so she's being quiet right now, so let's cherish that. That's why I'm not talking loud, but I do have to remember babies, they're fine with noise. So anyway, she passed her NST test, and at that visit, my doctor was just telling me how every week after that they were going to check my fluids, and I would have an ultrasound up until I had her every week, because I had high-risk pregnancy with her. I had gestational diabetes with her, so they wanted to make sure there's enough fluid every single week for her to be in there and make sure she wasn't getting too big. 2 weeks ago, I had my first ultrasound when I found out I had gestational diabetes, and she was head down then, and the ultrasound tech told me she was just under 5 pounds then. So I was anticipating for her to be probably like 8 pounds or a little over 8 pounds when she was born, just because of the diabetes. But anyways, so my appointment, everything was fine. And I go home Friday, don't do anything out of the ordinary, everything is fine. For the last 8 months, I've been sick as hell. Everything's been so hard for me to do. I just haven't been myself. Everything's been pretty difficult, and I've been relying on my girls to do a lot of things for me, because I been in a lot of pain or extremely nauseated, vomiting, didn't have weight gain. I gained like 3 pounds my whole pregnancy because I was losing weight, and it was just hard on my body. And then he would listen to me complain or cry a lot. I cried a lot during this pregnancy.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, since everybody has been asking, if you guys have been in my DMs, you guys have been asking me comments on pictures on Instagram, on posts on Facebook, because I still, been funny and put like posts and stuff like that on Facebook and sometimes Instagram. But and if you guys have not already, you make sure you go follow all of our social medias in the description box down below. But people kept asking me, when are you putting out another video? When are you putting out another video? You saying we stopped doing YouTube for a minute because her pregnancy, this pregnancy has been extremely difficult for her. So you know what I'm saying, she's like, like we was usually doing like 1 or 2 a week. It was like we weren't even doing that. It's because you know what I'm saying, just decided to take a break because it was just too much.
Like I couldn't commit to it at all. Like we would talk about video ideas and we would brainstorm and we would want to, and then he's home on the weekends, and usually that's when we would record whenever we did have time. But the further along I got with the pregnancy and stuff, the worse I would feel, and every time another trimester would hit or another week or another month, I would be hopeful that I would start to feel better, and I'm like, it's almost over with, I'm going to start to feel better. It's okay, Mom. And that never happened. My body, I was sick a lot when I was pregnant with our son too, but it was none of this. It was just the vomiting and the nausea, but my doctor was very good about giving me anti-nausea medicine for that, and she did also with her, but it's okay, baby girl. But it was so much more going on with my body. So anyways, Friday, normal day, like I said. Didn't do anything extra because I couldn't ever do anything extra, really. I went to sleep. He gets home probably like 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and I was still sleeping. I didn't have a hard time even sleeping. I was fine. I wake up, it's a little after 6 o'clock, and I almost fall. I remember getting out of the bed because I felt like I was peeing on myself. I didn't know if I was halfway asleep or up, but I almost tripped over my own feet. So I go to the bathroom, and I'm peeing, and it seems like I'm peeing for like 10 minutes. It just wouldn't stop. So finally, when it did, I got up and I go back in my room and I see like clear fluid running down my leg. So I text my mom and it's like 6:20 something in the morning and I go, how do I know if my water broke? I know, this is my 5th baby. But my water never broke on its own, except for when I had my daughter at home, Jasmine, but everything happened so fast there too that I don't even remember that. So I always had assistance with my water being broken for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kept leaking, and my mom said you should go to the hospital because your water probably did break, and you don't want to have a dry delivery because that's dangerous. There's cause for a lot of infection for me and the baby. So and this was like 6:20 something in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I text him because he's downstairs playing his game.
We're playing 2K.
And he did not respond, but I remember saying something like, we have a serious problem. Some of that was in capital letters. He didn't respond, so I called him upstairs. He didn't see the message, and I told him, I think my water probably broke. And he's like, what did you, I don't remember.
I was like, shut up.
They never heard that.
You said, pause that little backstory before that. Prior to that day before, I had driven. And then when I got done, I went to sleep, and Pop started driving. Pops drove for about 6 hours because we was trying to, you know what I'm saying, like get back, and it's just been a lot. So he stopped. So and then I got up because I was hungry, so I went and got something to eat. And then when I got back in the truck, I couldn't go back to sleep. So and then it was my turn to drive many hours later, and so I drove my shift, and then got home, took a shower, set up my Xbox, set up the whole thing ready to stream and because I'm still I'm working on some 2K footage for you guys as well. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta finish setting up my streaming platform and all that stuff. So I'm trying to bring all that to you guys too. If you guys like that, make sure you let us know down in the comment section down below, or follow us on our social media. You just engage with you guys there. Like I said, I just got into 2K. I'm like playing the game. I don't even remember who I was playing against. But you know what I'm saying, I got like halfway through the game and my phone starts ringing. And you saying she told me, you know what I'm saying, that
I didn't call you.
Yes she did.
No, I didn't.
Yes she did. I called my phone.
Oh, maybe that's how I got hold of you because
you didn't answer the text. I didn't answer the text, so you called my phone. That was because I was like, we're in the same house. Why is she calling my phone?
I was scared, you guys. I was scared to move because I kept feeling like I was peeing on myself, but it was not pee. It was my water that broke. It ruptured on its own. Didn't feel anything. I don't know if you're even supposed to feel anything, but I know when they break it for you, you do feel something. So I didn't feel it rupture or anything. I don't know what in the world. Like when I tell you guys there were no signs of me going into labor, the only thing that was happening the last week or so was I was having a lot of Braxton Hicks. So I remember telling him I keep having them, and he would ask me, are you okay? They weren't painful, they were just uncomfortable.
Right.
But they didn't hurt. And that would be if I got up, if I walked around somewhere. Sometimes I would just be sitting on my bed. That was happening the last week. But like I said, it wasn't painful, so I had no idea that was actually opening me up. Because I didn't even get checked at my appointment on Friday because I had just turned 34 weeks the day before on Thursday. I had just turned 34 weeks. So there's no need for me to be checked yet because I had 6 more weeks to go.
Right.
My due date was November 7th. So, I sat on the bed when I was telling him we got to go to the hospital. I didn't want to move because it seemed like with every movement there was leakage. There was leakage, and I was like, how am I going to get in the car and go? There's leakage. I had to freaking literally put a pad on. Okay?
And then I went and grabbed the biggest towel we had, folded it up, and put it on the seat of the car.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a good husband.
Yeah.
Ladies, tell your man to keep up.
And so...
Shots fired.
Help me! Help me! Nigga!
We had her at the hospital that's 2.5, 3 miles from our house?
If that.
If that. She wasn't supposed to be born there. But
We're
she's supposed to be born at a hospital
Akron.
40 minutes away.
Yeah.
But nothing goes as planned in my life, I guess. This is crazy though, you guys, because like I said, so it was 6:25, 6:30ish when my water initially broke. And then she was born Saturday. This was all Saturday morning at 9:32.
Wow.
It was a 3-hour span. Like, literally, I did not know we were coming to the hospital to have a baby.
Nah.
We came to see if my water, in fact, did break. And if so, if there was going to be anything they could do to stop it for a while so I could continue the pregnancy for at least a few more weeks. Because I knew she was going to be early. And so when they checked us, they were asking a gang of questions because this is not my hospital that I was supposed to deliver. So they didn't have any of my information. And I was having contractions then, but I was still able to deal with them at first. But I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So they say, we're gonna check you. We're gonna have the doctor check you. We're gonna see if you are leaking fluid. We're gonna see, and we'll go from there. So when the doctor does come in and he does examine me, he checks me, I think I could have fell off the freaking bed. He said, you're at a 4, almost 5 centimeters dilated.
We were like, oh, wow.
Like, when? What? So those Braxton Hicks that I
How
was
sort of-
having, yeah, those Braxton Hicks that I was having was opening me up and I didn't even know it. So I'm like, what? So we're like, we're definitely having a baby today. I mean, this weekend for sure. So they, after they do all that, the nurse starts the IV and stuff, however she does what she did.
She
And
took
they,
forever to start this whole
that's
time.
too much for
Oh
me
my
when
God.
I'm terrified of needles. But they wheeled us into the room where I was going to have her at. I was not in that room for a full 5 minutes. I remember before we got to that room, I asked for something to throw up in, which has happened every single labor I've had, where I have to throw up or I have to go to the bathroom. That's signs for me where things are progressing. So I was having contractions on the way. People kept asking me questions, and I was asking, can I please have an epidural? Can you please give me some pain medicine in my IV or something? Yeah, so I was like, please give me some pain medicine in my IV. I was begging for any type of pain medicine, something to take the edge off the contractions I was feeling, or an epidural. And they kept telling me, we have to wait on your blood work to come back because we don't have any of your information in the system here. I swear on my whole entire life, I just wanted to punch everyone, because it felt like everybody kept asking me the same questions too. They were asking, well, yeah, I'm nurse so-and-so and I'm doctor so-and-so, and I just want to ask you a couple questions. Look, when I'm in pain, don't ask me nothing, okay? I'm like, the dad is right there. Ask him.
Don't call me dad.
Her dad is right there. Ask him. Yeah, but in my head, I even said it to one nurse, like, can he answer for me? Like, he's right there. He knows all the information anyways.
And
Like,
I'm trying to answer anyway. It's like they were ignoring me anyway, so, you know.
and I'm just like, and I'm like, already, I've been poked so many times. Just this nurse wanted to numb me before she started an IV, which was like,
Yeah, so which basically means she had to poke you twice each time.
each time, and she kept saying my veins were blowing, and she bruised me up and was hurting me. I don't know what she was doing. But I kept squeezing his hand. Like, I just kept squeezing his hand because the contractions were coming. I don't know what happened from that first initial room where they're checking you in to the room where you're actually in a labor in. I don't know what happened in between those two because the contractions just got heavier and closer together and more intense, and that's why I was begging for some type of medicine. But I was laying on my right side, I remember, and I was squeezing his hand, and I said, after the nurse finished asking all the questions and stuff, I go, I have to go to the bathroom. And she goes, okay, well, you're already too far along to be getting up, dilated, so we'll have to put a bedpan under your butt so you can go pee. And I was like, fine, I don't care. She's like, just, you're going to have to turn over to your back. So the moment I turned over from my right side to my back, all of a sudden, there was this intense amount of pressure. Now, if you've had a kid naturally, vaginally, you know what I'm talking about. That pressure is like, you have to take the biggest number 2 of your life. You have to push. There's no holding back. There's no waiting. Like, every time for me, that's what it's been. So I know. And I'm like, I have to push. Then I was like, I have to shit. And they're like, that's okay. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's normal. Don't worry. But then I'm like, no, I have to push. Her head literally was at the end of my freaking vagina. I'm like, how did this happen? Everything was so fast, you guys. I'm so serious. And there was no doctors in there. There was one nurse, him and I. That's it.
I was like, yo, it's go time. So the nurse stops what she's doing, hits the panic button. Next thing you know, the whole floor is in our room. They're scrubbing up and putting
all these lights they turned on, lights.
It's like they were ready, like, and was like that. They you saying like they hadn't even broke the bed down to catch her yet. So you know what I'm saying. So they did all of that. As she's she's getting ready get ready to push. They're telling her, no. So she stops for a split second. They got it together. Well, shout out to this hospital, Altamans.
I don't know the name of the hospital, right? Well, y'all don't need to know that.
Yeah. But anyway,
it's in Canton.
It's in Canton. But you said they did that quick. You know
I mean, they got on it. They were like, when I was like, I gotta push now. They're like, go ahead then. The doctor was like, go ahead. He goes, I'm gonna say, I forgot whatever word he said. When I say that, he goes, go ahead and push. I remember pushing like 1.5 times. The first time, her head came out, and he goes, give me a big push. I pushed, pulled her body out, and I was like, oh, God just came and saved me.
Did she really?
Everything, like seriously, it was like, but I was in shock. Like, my water broke at 6:30 something this morning. They said 9:32 she was here, and I'm like, in 3 hours, contractions, everything. I was already 4 or 5 centimeters, and then from that 4 to 5 centimeters that they checked me, it wasn't even a full half hour from that time that they checked me and told me I was 4 to 5 that I pushed her out. I don't understand how, like, when those contractions were coming and I was begging for epidural or some pain medicine, that was like a 10-minute period or something like that. It was so quick, and I was ready to push. It was like, what the? She came out and she was screaming, and even though she's 6 weeks early, but she has a good set of lungs on her.
She was
hollering.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the heck? And they put her on me for a minute, skin to skin, and she was so calm and so quiet. So she was born September 28th, 5 pounds 6 ounces, 18 and a quarter inches. I had to look at the board. Yeah, because it's up there.
Right.
And she's 5 pounds 5 ounces right now, which
because
is normal.
They said, I guess she pooped out her,
Well, it's normal for a baby to lose a couple ounces before they go home when they stay in the hospital.
Right.
That always happens anyway. But we just found out today that which I thought, because she's super red and it's kind of different, so they did say that she has jaundice, but it's not a severe case, so they are treating it now, and she did have a big bowel movement, meconium came out of her, and they said it was really dark, so that's the first steps of her being okay. I will go home today. I stayed for 2 days. She'll still be here, but it's like 3 miles, and not even that from my house, so I'll be up here every day while my kids are at school, pumping and everything, because that's what I'm going to do for her. But she'll be here. We're not sure how long yet. It shouldn't be long, because they're saying like she's doing really well. She's really well. So her jaundice has to disappear though. But she's so beautiful and everything. She's so calm. Everything on her is super small, but she is 5 pounds. And Daddy has not held her yet.
No, I'll be honest with you. I've been kind of scared because of all the wires that are hanging out of her, and she's so tiny and little. And I'm not that big of a guy, but I think what I am gonna say before we leave, I'm gonna get the nurse to help put her in my arms, because I don't know if Tika's ready to move her like that.
No, she has a head full of hair already.
Yeah, she's
a little head. Like probably her little head could fit in my hand.
Yeah.
She's knocked out. She's eating really.
And that right there, y'all, that was the story time of how little baby girl came to be, man. Like I said, we just excited to have her here. He was excited. He said we're excited that she's happy and healthy,
And when she gets a little bigger and her jaundice is gone, because she's super red and stuff right now, we'll be including her in some of the vlogs, showing her and everything like that. And wish me luck, pray for me, because I'll be doing everything I can to nurse her. I'm gonna nurse her.
Oh yeah.
So any suggestions you guys have with that, or any encouraging words, anything like that, drop them in the comments below.
Drop them in the comment section below. But anyway, without further ado, make sure that you say like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on that bell notification so you don't miss another video. Without further ado, I love you.
I love you guys.
And we out. Peace.